Finders keepers, not in Oklahoma. That's larceny of lost property. I'm Tulsa attorney James Wirth, and that's the question that we have here. Actually came up because we stumbled across a case that was filed. It's a larceny case based on lost property. It's not one that we see filed very often. At my office, we handle a lot of larceny cases, whether it's petty larceny of merchandise from a retailer or grand larceny. There's all kinds of different ones, but one that we don't see very often, but we have seen recently, is larceny of lost property. So basically, under these circumstances, if you find some property that appears to be abandoned and you take that, appropriate it to your own use, that can be a crime. If it's under 1,000, it'd be a misdemeanor. If it's over 1,000, it's a felony that has different ranges of punishment depending on how much money it is. With it being over 15,000, it could be a potential of up to 8 years in prison for taking that property. So when is finders keepers a thing in Oklahoma? Well, this is what the law says. If you find property under circumstances which gives knowledge or means of inquiry as to the true owner, then you have to first make such efforts to find the owner to restore the property to him as are reasonable and just under the circumstances. So if you find property appears to be abandoned, don't know whose it is, whatever information under that scenario that you have to utilize that to make reasonable efforts to try to find out who the owner is and to restore it to that person. If you don't do that and you just take that property to your own use, whether you find money on the ground or other apparently abandoned property, if you don't try to find who the prior owner is based on the information that you have, then you could be charged with a misdemeanor or felony crime depending on the amount of value that is involved with the property. So don't do that. Make reasonable efforts to find out who the owner is. And then if you fail, then at that point it is not a crime if you continue to keep that property, if you can't find out who the owner is, if you can't restore it to that owner. But you have to make reasonable efforts, otherwise it's a crime. All right, so that's the issue that we have here in this video. If you've got questions related to a matter in Oklahoma law, you're probably going to want to talk to an attorney about that privately and confidentially. To get that scheduled with an attorney at my office, you can go online to makelawEasy.com.